there's a variety of arguments now, and people arguing them that are starting to kind of. So there was something that it was before creation. An allegory to creation is why are all things related to the name of God usually have Y or J. Sometimes people put a Y or the Yud, the mark Yud, as theirs. So that's the first mark put down on. Yeah. That's the first mark put down. It said from there, you are then limited because there's only so many words. There's only so many letters. And there's then the idea is that develops the conditions. And to understand then the spiritual aspect is to take the words that have created reality and use the various gematria and those things to find the secret meanings in them. So you find what letters they reflect in some system of gematria or something. And so the conditions. And so now there's these various arguments that they've argued themselves into very conditioned positions. So one of these that I happened upon this morning was, there was, the two of them what I was thinking about was now how the left has set itself up in a way that the more that they do this with the Gaza thing, and the more that they start doing this with like oil, all this stuff with oil and with Gaza, one of the problems that they're going to end up with is they're going to condition themselves. They're going to set up conditions that they have no more than two arguments or something. And then when people are like, oh, well, factually, these don't make it on at the factual level in some way, shape, or form. Like, how does Hamas behave? What are the actual facts involved in the history of Hamas and how everything got this way and why the Palestinians are in the situation they're in, and but then also there'll be things about actual ability to keep people alive, the things that are made out of petroleum products, all this various stuff that it's like, you can't live without this. Like most of the species will die. So now so they start getting into these things of these all or nothing kind of situations. And usually some large number of people will have to die, but they're not going to admit this because they can't be those people in their morality, in their kind of fake morality. They can't be the people who condemn a bunch of people to death because, even though that's kind of all they got when it comes to what their philosophy and what their worldview and how they think about other people and stuff, what it really comes down to. So then the next was the Passport Bro haters. Passport Bro haters posting these very interesting videos, but the arguments are getting strange, are now getting more and more strange about how these men are these horrible, ruined men that lug their asses to the Philippines and find some dopey chick who will pick up the leftovers of American women, when most of these men are very likely men who they didn't get many dates here. To some extent, it starts to become, I don't think you understand who probably these men are. These are probably not men that came across as exciting, very likely of relatively normal looks, probably not terribly tall. Filipinos are not tall, so a 5'7" American is tall. A 5'8" American guy is tall for a lot of Filipino women. Not all, but a lot of them. He's not some exciting and wild and crazy guy. That's called stable. Maybe he's a veteran. That happens people don't get a lot of passport bros are men who are veterans. That's a part of it, the whole thing. So these are men with all of these various disciplined behaviors already. And so these are women who are like, great, you already do all of these various things on time the same way every time. There's a lot of this. So the big thing that started to hit me is, I don't think you're getting women travel. We know that this is so much everyone knows this kind of thing. Is this like, there's a whole meme about dating women that you shouldn't date women who say they travel a lot. So this means that they've had lots of men in lots of places, but then that's the issue. Why didn't you bring them home? And why didn't you have replacement plus children where you live? That's everything right there. These women are able to get these guys to stay in the country and have replacement plus children. Next thing, that therefore means that man's ancestors, female and male, have won the game. Once those kids are adults and are going to have kids of their own, they've won the game genetically for all intents and purposes. So you can't hate what you want to hate. That's the way it works. The Filipino people have come up with a method by which there will be more Filipinos, and there will be Filipinos who are mixed with other groups of people. So those people's genes are figuring this out too. There's a lot of women in America who are not figuring out. You're going to need to recruit the mates you want. That's it. I mean, that's how the genetics are going to. That's how it works. And men don't think you want to have replacement plus children, and a lifelong companionship. That's what is going on. All right, later.